Valak the Nun is just the beginning. One more piece on the dark board of the Conjuring Demonverse, a universe where entities not only exist, but wait. This franchise hasn't just dominated modern horror, it has opened portals. Portals that connect our world with presences that defy all logic. Demons, ghosts, curses, and possessed objects that have left marks on those who dared investigate them. And now the time has come to face them one by one. Prepare the holy water. Take refuge under the cross. Because we are going to unearth the forbidden files and reveal the demon list. A journey through every entity in the Conjuring Universe, their powers, origins, rituals, and the horrors they left behind. This is not fiction. This is a warning. Bathsheba, the hybrid witch. Before Valak looked at us from the shadows, there was another. A primeval entity. A witch who not only sold her soul to the devil, she offered it with blood. Bathsheba Sherman was the first evil presence that warned us of what hid behind the Conjuring Universe. Inspired by the terrifying true story of the Harrisville curse, this woman didn't just leave a mark, she left a scar. Born in 1812, Bathsheba was said to be a direct descendant of one of the women executed during the Salem witch trials. Her real name was Bathsheba, and in her youth she was seen as a kind, smiling girl passionate about herbalism and spells. But something changed. She left innocence behind, changed her name, and embraced the darkness. Bathsheba delved into forbidden rituals, surrounded herself with occult fanatics, and pledged loyalty to Lucifer himself. She married a wealthy farmer, Judson Sherman, and they had a son. But sweetness was replaced by something inhuman. A week after the birth, Judson found her sacrificing the baby by the fireplace, offering it as a satanic tribute. Right after, she ran to the tallest tree near the dock, climbed to the top, and before hanging herself, cursed the land, promising to return to torment anyone who dared live there. And she kept her promise. Legends say her demonic spirit still inhabits the Sherman farm, and in The Conjuring, we see her unleash her wrath against the Perron family nearly a century later. At first, small events. Doors closing on their own, power failures. The dog dead without reason. Then the darkness became impossible to ignore. The Warrens were called, and Bathsheba responded violently. She tried to possess, manipulate, and kill the daughters of the family. The most disturbing, she seems to know other demons. She knows Annabelle, the entity that inhabits it, and she doesn't seem alone. Is she a spirit? A demon? Something worse? Many believe her soul was completely consumed by her connection to hell. Today, Bathsheba is no longer human. She is a sadistic, cruel, territorial entity. And if you dare enter her domain, you're already marked. Llorona, the soul trapped in eternal grief. In the shadows of the night, when the wind whispers through the trees and water murmurs in rivers and puddles, a heartbreaking wail breaks the silence. It is the voice of a mother condemned to cry for eternity. La Llorona is not just a legend. She is a restless soul, trapped between this world and the next, a curse that drags the innocent toward a fatal destiny. Her story, deeply rooted in Mexican and Central American culture, speaks of a woman who, consumed by despair and pain, drowned her own children in a fit of madness and betrayal. In The Curse of La Llorona, 2019, her name is Luisa, or Maria depending on the version, and her story begins with happiness, a silver necklace, and maternal love. But upon discovering her husband's infidelity, her soul breaks and her heart fills with darkness. She drowns her children, and when trying to join them in death, she gets trapped, condemned to wander, to cry, and to search for new children to replace the ones she lost. Her cry is not just sadness, it is an omen of death. Whoever hears her lament is marked. Her mark is visible, a burn on the arm, a cold touch like death. From that moment, the nightmare begins. La Llorona pursues, stalks, until she catches her victim and drags them into the water to repeat her macabre cycle. She has a deep and sinister connection with water. Rivers, lakes, puddles are her portals, her paths to us. She can emerge from the most unexpected places, always with her dark cloak and heartbreaking cry. Her fury is unpredictable. She loves and protects children with a sick obsession, but explodes in deadly rage when faced with obstacles. To fight her, more than courage is needed. A healer used a crucifix carved from the wood of the forest where she died, reminding us that only elements from the place of her condemnation can stop her. And although she belongs to the Conjuring Universe, La Llorona is unique. She is not linked to Annabelle nor the Warrens like other entities. Her horror is different, ancient, and much more personal. When you hear her cry at night, pray she hasn't marked you. The Crooked Man, the demon of distortion. In the whisper of a broken music box, in the cracking of bones that seem to break, and in the shadow that bends unnaturally, appears him. The Crooked Man, the hunchbacked man. A presence that tears reality with every movement. We first saw him in The Conjuring 2 stalking the Hodgson house. He is no ordinary demon. His figure is tall, thin, almost unreal, dressed in a purple suit. His sharp face, with pointed fangs, eyes hidden behind glasses resting on a hat that seems to absorb light itself. Every step he takes sounds like bones breaking, a chilling creak. And always invariably he recites a macabre rhyme, an echo of ancient nightmares. His appearance is no accident. He manifests when little Billy tries to free the dog to the yard, but the dog transforms into Crooked Man himself, an entity so sinister it was going to have its own movie in 2019, though the project was canceled, leaving his story wrapped in mystery and darkness. What makes him even scarier is his connection to a cursed music box. A small box that spins, showing his distorted image as it turns, a silent invitation to madness. Some believe this box already inhabited the house, dormant, harmless, until Valak, the demon nun, unleashed chaos, manipulating shadows and awakening this being to act at her whim. The Crooked Man is not just a demon. He is the personification of the twisted, of what hides bent and deformed in the darkness of the human mind. And if you ever hear that macabre creak, run, because he is already playing with you. Bill Wilkins, the poltergeist trapped in hatred. Bill Wilkins was a man whose soul never found rest. In life he was a protective old man, yes, but with an iron heart and an unrelenting hand. His love was tyrannical, his presence an oppressive shadow that scared away those who once called family. He was a lonely man, hardened by years and resentment. Blind and sick, he clung to his house, ready to punish anyone who dared cross his threshold. He poisoned animals, hid intruders, and sowed fear with every gesture. Until one day, after a silent hemorrhage, he died in his favorite chair, but his soul never left. His spirit remained trapped, imprisoned in a dark limbo of anger and resentment, waiting for a family that would never return. With a deep hatred toward any intruder, his presence filled the house with an aura of terror, mocking the children, moving objects, and whispering threats from the shadows. But the scariest part is that Bill was not alone. His soul was kidnapped by Valak, the demon nun, who used his spirit as a pawn to manipulate and tear apart the Hodgson family and the Warrens themselves. Bill, in a final act of lucidity, helps Lorraine, guiding her to discover the true horror lurking in the shadows. A lost soul, an enslaved body. Bill Wilkins is not just an angry spirit. He is another victim of the true evil hiding in the dark. Isla Kastner, the occultist, herald of evil. In the heart of darkness, where innocence should bloom, a shadow was born. Isla Kastner, an orphan girl, marked from her adoption by a grim fate. Her adoptive father, Father Kastner, was not a savior but an extremist fanatic, obsessed with satanic cults and ancient demons. From an early age, Isla was forged in fire and oppression. raised under a strict religious dictatorship where faith became a prison and fear her only companion. But the broken girl did not bow, she transformed. She became rebellious, dark, and embraced black magic, forbidden rituals, and the invocation of forces no human should touch. Beneath the Glatzel family house, Isla raised her dark sanctuary, an altar to chaos. There, her influence unleashed paranormal storms, opening doors to entities seeking to possess, corrupt, and destroy. She was not a victim nor a simple vessel. Isla controlled demons, making pacts with multiple infernal entities, including Maltus, the fearsome ram. She used her ancestral knowledge to manipulate evil at will, with the cold calculation of true evil incarnate. Against Lorraine Warren's compassion and faith, Isla is her distorted mirror. Without humanity, without mercy, a genius of occultism and destruction. But power has its price. In the end, when her curse is broken, one of the demons she served turns against her, tearing her soul away and dragging her to hell's depths, where her torment will be eternal. Isla Kastner is not just a witch nor a monster. She is the living embodiment of human evil defying the light. Annabelle, the channel of darkness. She is not a demon. She is not a spirit. Annabelle is something far more sinister. A cursed object, a cold and silent vessel hiding inside the essence of an ancient evil. This doll, based on a real relic resting in the Warrens Museum, is not just a toy. It is a door to hell. In 1943, the doll was made for Annabelle Mullins, a girl who seemed to have her whole life ahead. But tragedy came without warning. A road accident cruelly and suddenly took her life. In desperation, her parents prayed fervently, unaware they were summoning something far worse than death. A demon that took the form of the lost child's soul, infiltrating the doll, using it as the perfect disguise to hide its true nature. At first, it seemed a miracle. Annabelle had returned. But soon reality showed its macabre face. The evil inside did not seek love, but one thing: a human soul to possess and torture forever. When it attacked Esther Mullins, tearing out one eye in an act of pure malice, the family understood the horror's gravity. They locked the doll away, sealed its prison with Bible pages, but the demon inside never rested. Annabelle is the perfect tool of evil, an object that looks harmless, a gift that lowers the guard, an innocent figure that becomes the nightmare lurking at home. With every empty smile, every lifeless glance, Annabelle invites darkness in, corrupting families from within, destroying what we love most. That's why the demon prefers her. Because through her, evil infiltrates disguised as innocence. And wherever Annabelle appears, terror has only just begun. Samurai armor, the warrior who never dies. Among the Warrens Museum relics lies an object that guards not only history, but a living curse. The samurai armor you see is not a mere vestige of feudal Japan. It is the prison of a condemned soul, that of a bloodthirsty warrior without honor or mercy, a destroyer who knew no compassion. It is said this man massacred mercilessly. Women, children, no one escaped his thirst for blood and violence. When he died, his body fell, but his soul did not find rest. Instead, it clung to the armor, possessing it, turning it into a conduit of death and eternal destruction. Whoever dares to wear that armor feels an immense power, a lethal skill with the sword, but also a brutal thirst for blood that corrupts mind and soul. The Warrens, aware of the danger, took it in 1952. They blessed it, sealed it, and kept it in their hidden museum to prevent the evil from spreading. But beware. While the armor remains intact, the dishonored warrior will be waiting, ready to possess the next victim who dares wear it. Wedding dress, the bloody bride ghost. In the dark Warrens Museum rests a dress that seems immaculate, but hides a story stained with blood and horror. This dress was the vessel of a vengeful spirit, known as the Bloody Bride. Queen Lane, a woman engaged and full of hopes, saw her world shatter when she discovered her fiancé Paul's betrayal. In a fit of madness, she not only killed him but also the parents of both families, gouging their eyes out with her own hands. Since then, her soul became trapped in that wedding dress, possessing women consumed by jealousy, leading them to commit atrocious murders against their own fiancés. The most terrifying, after each massacre, the dress appears clean again, white as the purity it lost, ready for its next victim. 7 fiancés paid with their lives before the Warrens intervened, sealing the cursed dress in their museum to contain its fury. The Ferryman, the soul collector. Among shadows and whispers, a cursed coin circulates. It is said whoever possesses it carries the Ferryman's mark, an entity that demands a toll for life itself. Appearing in dreams, the Ferryman warns that if you don't pay the price, he will come for you to drag you to death. It is unclear if the curse lies in the coins or if the Ferryman uses them to expand his dominion. The Warrens guard a sack full of these coins, each marked with the Ferryman's symbol, to prevent their dark power from growing. Maltus, the Black Thistle Demon. The demon Maltus, also known as Half-Fast, is one of the most terrifying and powerful in the Conjuring Universe. Since time immemorial, this infernal being has lurked in the shadows, collecting souls with unmatched sadism and cruelty. Worshipped by dark sects such as the Ram cult, Maltus feeds on fear and despair, manipulating victims with false promises only to consume them mercilessly. His physical form, when he chooses to show it, is that of a humanoid demon covered in black fur, for twisted horns, deathly white eyes, sharp claws, and threatening fangs. But he prefers to possess objects or beings to expand his influence, as he did with the Annabelle doll. His speed and ferocity are legendary, and although no one knows his final plan, one thing is certain. To make a pact with Maltus is to sign a contract of absolute destruction for you and everyone around you. In real demonology, he is known as Malthus, a name that inspires terror in those who know his power. Valak, the shadow that lurks in faith. Valak is no ordinary demon. He is an ancient entity, a fallen angel, a king of darkness whose name simply means someone. But his presence is felt like the one no one wants to name. It is said Valak was an angel who once fought on the side of light, but pride and ambition led him to defy God. Defeated by Archangel Michael, he was cast into the depths of hell, condemned to eternal darkness. His hatred for all sacred symbols is so deep he takes the form of a nun, a twisted religious figure designed to sow doubt and terror in those who place their faith in the divine. But Valak is not content to manifest alone. He prefers to manipulate other dark beings, demons, and lesser specters, corrupting everything he touches so they sow chaos in our world. We have seen him use the Crooked Man, Bill Wilkins, and others as pieces in his macabre game. In classical demonology, Valak is an infernal duke, commander of over 30 legions of demons, obeying only Belial. His power eclipses Maltus, his dark rival, and he has the cunning to hide behind 1,000 forms. A giant serpent, a sinister cherub on a chimeric dragon, or the terrifying black nun we know. A being who embodies pure terror and the corruption of faith. His greatest obsession in our reality is an ancient relic known as the Eyes of St. Lucy, a source of divine clairvoyance. With that power, Valak could reach near-omniscient knowledge, an absolute terror impossible to stop. But there is hope. Lorraine Warren, descendant of the Chosen of St. Lucy, is the only one capable of confronting him and containing his whirlwind of darkness. Because in the fight between light and shadows, Valak is the shadow that always lurks, waiting for the right moment to destroy faith and claim the souls of the unwary. Now that you know these entities, remember, true terror is not only in movies but in what lurks in the shadows, waiting for you to let your guard down. Which of these beings gave you the most chills? Let me know in the comments, if you dare. And don't forget to subscribe, because here is where fear doesn't end, it only begins. See you in the next darkness.